Broad here, coming to you today from kind of my favorite stage, and I'm sure you've already figured out that I am inside today. The reason for that is I actually just finished trying to film this outside, and the wind is gusting, and you know, when the wind gusts, that's all you hear. And God forbid you should miss anything that I have to say. So I moved indoors. Anyway, kind of my favorite stage. Not only am I inside, what I want to start talking about today, but I'm at a different site because of that. So same general area, different site, and indoors today. And what I want to talk about is my new toy. Kind of new. I actually bought it last April. And it is, yes, it is a small camper. It is an Aliner Ranger 12, a 2025. I bought it brand new. And let's take a look at what this looks like all set up. So this is my Aliner Ranger 12 camper that I bought. So I'm out of the tent and into a camper. Why? Well, because I'm getting older and I wanted a little more comfort. In particular, if it were really cold and windy out, I wanted to be inside and not sitting in the car, which is where I've wound up in the past, in the tent. So that was one of the primary drivers. Now, let me just pan, because I want you to see right there. That is what I tow it with. And that is a Subaru Outback Wilderness 2023. So what I'm going to do today is an overview, and we're going to talk about the car. We're going to talk a little bit about the camper, and I'll try and keep it short and sweet, and we'll go into more detail in subsequent episodes. Okay, so what I wanted to do today then is I wanted to talk about how I arrived at the decision to buy this particular camper. So one of the things I'm going to say right off the top is I live in a small town in southwestern Arizona, and they do have a couple of RV dealerships, but historically, because it's a heavy snowbird area, it's typically been large motorhomes and big trailers and things like that. They've been a little slow to adapt to the market for smaller, more lightweight units, you know, that can be towed by a Subaru Outback Wilderness, right? So I was driving down the freeway, and I happened to see that they had A-liners on the lot. They had like 4 of them. And I had to stop and go look at them. So that was a part of my decision, meaning I could buy it locally, and I didn't have to go to, you know, Phoenix or Tucson or San Diego or a larger city in order to get the unit I wanted if they actually had something that met my criteria. So first of all, let's talk about the car and the research. Like a lot of people doing this kind of thing, I must have watched 10,000 videos on YouTube, because there's a lot to choose from. There's a lot of now lightweight compact trailers out there, and I had looked earlier when I first started fantasizing about a small camper. I looked at, you know, Tab and the little teardrops, Casitas, you know, the things I had seen out and about, Scamp, things like that. So I watched a ton of videos. Interestingly enough, one of the videos I watched was a guy, and God, I can't remember what he goes by on YouTube, but he's an RV repairman, right? And I watched this little video that he did, and he said one thing that I thought was pretty astute, and I've never forgotten. He said, basically, all RVs are cheaply made. And I thought, okay, that takes care of a big piece of it right there, because I already knew I can't afford Airstream, right, which is probably the top of the line RV. So with that little piece of insight and information, it kind of helped me feel better about what I was looking at and my little search. So let's talk about the car. So towability was a big thing with this, because I have the Outback Wilderness. It's a 4-cylinder. You know, it's got the a turbo on it, so it does have bursts of power, but still, it's a small car. So the first thing I did was go to the owner's manual of the car. And when I looked in the owner's manual, I found out a couple things. First of all, the towing weight limit is 3,500 pounds. And okay, got that out of the way. And then I looked at the comments it made about towing, because I wanted to see if there was anything special I had to do or concern myself with. And here's what it said. They have a disclaimer. Basically, tow at your own risk. They say this is designed as a passenger car. It's not designed for towing. It can tow, but it's not designed for it. Also, if you do tow, under certain conditions, the drivetrain may overheat. Those conditions are, it's hot out, so I have taken that to mean greater than 90 degrees. You're under stress, meaning going up a hill, let's say, and you're running the air conditioner. So doing all those things at once could be a problem. Now, those are easy to overcome, and that's how I drive, that's what I do. But you have to know that, right? Before you just go, you know, charging up a hill in, and, you know, this is Arizona, charging up a hill in 95-degree weather with the AC blasting. So that was all good to know. So this unit, now I have to look at the weight of the units I'm interested in. This unit dry is 1,800 pounds, and I wanted to be well under that 35. I certainly didn't want to be pushing the limit. Why? Because this is my last car. This car has to last the rest of my driving life. And I did not want and do not want to do anything that's going to cause it to wear out any faster than it's already going to wear out, right? So the weight was a big deal for me. So this is 1,800 pounds dry, and I know it doesn't come close to 35 when I load up. So that was another consideration. Also with regards to towing, when it is fully collapsed, because this is a hard-sided pop-up, it's actually lower than the roof of the car. So it tows really, really easily, really, really nicely. Like a lot of newer cars, the Outback has a backup camera, so I can easily hook it up myself. All I got to do is watch the camera, and I've done that multiple times. Also, I used to, years and years ago, I actually had a commercial driver's license in California, and so I was towing big, heavy trailers, things like that. So I've had that under my belt, and you know, all that came rushing back now when I'm, you know, driving around with a camper. I can tell you just, and a couple of hints for this kind of thing, if you're interested, I don't drive over 55. Now in California, that's the speed limit. I think in Arizona it's 60. And if I remember correctly from the owner's manual for the trailer itself, they don't recommend you ever go over 65. So 55 helps with my goal of 2,500 RPMs. So given what the owner's manual said, given that I don't want to wear the car down any faster than is necessary, I never take it over 2,500 RPMs, and that's what I drive to versus miles per hour. I focus on that 2,500 RPMs. So I never take it over that, and that works out great, because I'll tell you one of the advantages of going 55, you can put it on cruise control and you're not going to have to take it out because everyone is going around you. You just stay in the right lane, and yes, I've had to resign myself to the fact that it's just going to take me longer to get to the places I'm going, but I'll get there safely in one piece with a car that is still running. So that's the towing issue. Now the other issue is features of the camper itself. So the features I was looking for in a camper was I wanted a separate sitting area, which I am in right now because I'm inside the camper. I wanted a sitting area separate from the sleeping area. So a lot of smaller campers, in order to save weight and make the most of the space they have, you're going to sleep at the dinette. So in the daytime, if you're using the dinette, You set it up. When it's time to go to bed, you take it down, you set the bed up, and then you reverse that, of course, in the morning if you're going to use the dinette. I didn't want to have to do that every day. Bed, table. So this unit has the sitting area, and then it has a bed that I can just leave as a bed. So I wanted that. I wanted a heater, because one of the reasons I wanted to go from tent to camper, and just as an example, my trip to Zion last April, I knew before I left, the internet's a beautiful thing, right? I knew before I left the weather was going to get nasty at the end of the week, and the temperatures were going to drop quite a bit. Now, I've been camping all my adult life, so I have plenty of equipment for cold weather, and I knew I'd be fine. And I have a good tent. I knew it would be fine, and all that was true. Everything worked out. And I couldn't help think that if I had a little camper, I'd be inside warm. My coffee wouldn't be cold in 5 minutes. My breakfast wouldn't be cold in 2 minutes. You understand what I'm saying? So I just wanted some creature comforts and convenience. So this does have a heater. It runs on the propane. It also has a water heater, runs on the propane. And it doesn't have an indoor bath of any kind, but that's okay, because in my case, I already have, I should say, a 2-room privacy tent that I was using for shower and bath, porta potty. So I have that. This does have a shower, outside shower. So all I have to do is get an extension hose, excuse me, a little dry out, a little water there, is get an extension hose, and then I can run that into the shower building that I already have and have hot water via the water heater. So that just all worked out for me. I'm like, that's perfect. Use what I already have and have the comfort, the creature comforts that I was looking for in case of really lousy weather. So that's all I wanted to do today. Just a quick overview of why I chose this particular unit. In the next episode, I will start going into the unit itself in more detail, the good, bad, and the ugly. The repairman who said that they're cheaply made, at least in this case, he's right. That doesn't mean bad. That doesn't mean you won't, like it or can't make it work or whatever. But we'll start going into those kind of things in the next episode. So thank you so much for watching this. And as always, I will see you in the old outdoors. Thanks again.